Welcome back to a small, tiny update video today, because I don't have really much time. We will start with SPY nasdaq because that's important. Then we look, is AMC finished or not? Will GameStop go up or down? We'll make a little tiny update on GNS because it reached our target. Will BYND break now 64 cents or not? And a little update on FFAI. And at the end, a little community vision. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal Method. The explanation video I will put at the end of the video, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method on my channel. Okay, well, then let's jump into SPY and NASDAQ. So, left side SPY, 30-minute, right side NASDAQ, 30-minute. Only because I read it so many times, or saw so many times, that some people are calling for, I'm waiting till Friday, and then I go massively into puts and short the market. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, that's very, very dangerous. I mean, okay, in the last 5 years, March to April was always a knife and a bottom. Yeah, still dangerous. What I mean with this, first of all, NASDAQ and SPY going hand in hand. Yeah, they have small differences, but I never saw they go inverse each other. Yeah, so yeah, what SPY is doing will NASDAQ do too. Yeah. My main problem now is I still can see a fucking reversal. Yeah. For the overall tracking. Yeah, both peaked in January. Yeah, then low high. We start on it's just with SPY now. Then we made our low high, we made our midpoint, and this candle here was our T. The Trump candle, the Trump tweet candle was our T. Yeah, I said back here on Friday, last Sunday, we could get a pretty perfect bounce, and we did it. Yeah. I said back then there's a good probability that this is just our A or our higher low, and we can go up. Yeah. Thing is, I am short since Wednesday. Yeah, because this, in my opinion, is clearly T. Clearly, I will show that in a second. If we only look at SPY, yeah, this thing here could still be higher low. Yeah, from here to here, we are under the 786. We could still bounce here, and it could still be higher low. Main problem is NASDAQ, because for NASDAQ we have the same C, we have a smaller lower high, we have a perfect midpoint, and also for NASDAQ this Trump candle here was our T. But here comes the big difference. NASDAQ already broke its low. Yeah. This low here is the same low as this here. So in my opinion, SPY is lagging. Yeah. I don't think this will be a higher low, because NASDAQ already showed us this is not higher low, and just this whole thing is just T. So in my opinion, SPY will drop and will break this low. Yeah. So now only the thing. Okay, there is a possibility that from next week on we just knife, and we're doing market crash things like in the 1900s. Yeah, I have no price targets for this, but it will be bad. Yeah, but wouldn't be my main tracking. Still, this is T, same as the NASDAQ. This is T. We will drop. Yeah, for SPY, my first level would be 638. For NASDAQ, it would be 564. But then, maybe no financial advice, but maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher. But then I still see a reversal. Yeah, that's why I'm saying shorting this now is dangerous. Yeah, your entry for shorts were up here, or as I did, the confirmation here. That was your entry for shorts. Now going into puts and shorts is for what could happen next if we really bouncing here. Yeah, especially because it's also a wonderful trend line here. Yeah, if we're bouncing here, is the bull market then starting? Well, the thing is, as I showed already in the last video, for SPY, the important point is this level here, 690, 680. If you reject somewhere in here, yeah, this is your big C, your big L, this would be your big M. After that, you're getting massive red candles. Yeah. If you break these levels, bull market starting again. Yeah. I would still see a bounce for this. If we get in bull market or not, we will see. For NASDAQ, even quicker. Because if you look, NASDAQ has a sharper broadening wedge. So for NASDAQ, the confirmation is already, I think, 600. Yeah, that would be the same as when SPY is already breaking this one. Yeah? Because for NASDAQ, if you go down here and you break up, at this level here, you already broke the wedge. Yeah? You could do then here for an A, pullback, and we go on. Yeah. So we have to see if we're really getting this bounce. If NASDAQ is already breaking this level, this could be already a hint. Yeah, because SPY would be still in decision, but NASDAQ, as right now, because NASDAQ is already hinting that SPY will break this low, NASDAQ could already hint at 600 that we're already going into a bull market. Yeah? Of course, if NASDAQ is going up here and rejecting this, that's also a big, big, big hint that the top was January. Yeah? If we reject here, then, in my opinion, there is a safe play for puts. But right now, I wouldn't tell people now go into massively short. Yeah? Because the danger that we get a bounce, and I can be wrong, yeah, but the danger that we get a bounce is very high. Yeah. The thing is, for my price targets, today is Friday, yeah, and normally, if your Wednesday is red, your Thursday is red, your Friday is normally also red, but there's a good chance that you get a bounce on a Monday. And Trump is already talking about, you always need news. That ceasefire is coming, and he is extending the ceasefire. So, for SPY, my price target 638. It's only 1% down. This is easily done today. For NASDAQ, the price target to 564 is 133. That's also easily done for NASDAQ in one day. So I wouldn't go into calls because it's also stupid before over the weekend. I would just wait. Because if you're really doing this and on Monday you see a bounce, if you go for no financial advice, but if you're bouncing next week and go over 652, your shorts are fucked. Because then, in my opinion, we will go up. Same for NASDAQ. If you go down today and we're bouncing on Monday and we go over 584, your shorts are fucked. Yeah, just saying. Okay. Next one, AMC. So for AMC, really just a tiny update today because there's not much to say. For the bigger update, watch the video I link at the end of the video for price targets, 1-part squeeze, 2-part squeeze. Today, we just look what we have done. And I know it's boring, it's shitty, it's just It's just AMC. Problem is, was this the bottom? Yeah. And if you're a long watcher for my videos, you already know what I will say. No. Yeah. No. This is not a knife and a V. Yeah. I showed that in all the last videos. We want to see a knife and a V. Yeah. We got the knife, but then I said already in the last videos, if we're doing this shit the whole week, we will break this low. So let's see, today is Friday. Most likely we will break this low today, yeah, especially with nasdaq and SPY dropping. To where? Well, next level is 69 cents. Yeah. Next one would be 90. Yeah. What we want to do, we want to see a knife and a clear V. Yeah. As long as we are not doing that, we are doing the same algorithmic shit like the last fucking weeks. Yeah. Sadly, but there's no way around it. Yeah. Just waiting. Okay. Next one is GME. Also for GME, big update video at the end of the video. Price targets for the next squeeze. How would the next squeeze look like? Today we just look what we have done. Yeah, and for GME, yeah, in the last videos, I already said we have only 3 versions. Yeah, first version, the bullish one. Yeah, this is higher low. In that case, you still have to go down here, 20.84 cents. Yeah, and then you go up to a pullback, and we are going to squeeze. I think the version with A, that this here is A, is already dead. I mean, we got a bounce at the 618, yeah, but we really have to go up. Yeah, I just don't think we will do, but I could be wrong. So main tracking for me is still that this is higher low. It just is matching way better. And you come down here, 2080, you bounce, go to your A around 28.35, 0.5, 0.618 pullback, and you go. Again, if you break this level, and if you touch 1962, 1965, you will go lower. Yeah. And this here, this whole thing would be just tiny D. Yeah. And I could be wrong, but the thing is, I'm tending more to this. Yeah. For this, your level is you have to go at least under 1759. At least. You have to go under the Japanese knife. And then the question is this or 1513. Somewhere in this range will be a bounce. And don't tell me, no, never happened. Impossible, because it's not true. Yeah. Compared landmarks for this would be here. Also March 2024, before you got your May run. Or if we're not tracking this, because we're not tracking 2024, we're tracking 2021 and 2020. Same thing. Yeah. This one. Yeah. This went higher than we are now, but for this case, yeah, it's not 1-to-1. Yeah. But the drop, the landmark is 1-to-1. And this is also March. We are overdue for this drop. Yeah. This is also 17 to 15. Yeah. We are getting slower. Yeah. But because the fractal is getting bigger, but still, my main tracking is downside. I will be glad if I'm wrong. Yeah. For GameStop, I have no position right now, because even if we track bullish, yeah, let's say this is a or higher low. Okay, let's say we have to do this, or we jump from here. Yeah, it doesn't matter for me, because whatever you're doing here, you will go up to your A. you will reject, in my opinion, and you will do the pullback. My buy-in target is here. It doesn't matter if we're doing this or this, because I won't buy into this run. I will wait for this. Yeah. If we're doing the 17, that's different, because then I will get into a position here. But right now, I don't care. I just want to see the confirmation. Is this higher low and we're doing now A, or we still have to do the V? Yeah. But just wait for it. There is no rush, in my opinion. Okay. Next one is GNS. And GNS is a very old stock. I mean, I started, I think, my channel with this thing. With a few mistakes, but the overall tracking is still perfect. For GNS, the GNS started its IPO at its C, and still since then we are just dropping. Yeah? But perfect lower high, perfect midpoint, perfect last time to sell. And our V for bullish tracking is still April 2025. And since then we are doing higher low. And I think already in the last update, which is already some months ago, I said, we are waiting for the higher low to be finished. And there's no reason to update it since then. Our higher low is always ending in a 786, which we broke, and V under A, which we also did last Thursday, yesterday, I think. Was it yesterday? No, Wednesday. Yeah. And I bought shares here. No financial advice. I bought shares here. I was waiting to break this fucking level now since November 2025. Because it's so it hinted sometimes, but no. Right now, we finished our higher low. So, what are the next moves? First of all, I still think we have to do now a little higher low. Yeah? We won't break over this trend line. So nothing over 40 cents. Yeah? Pullback, and then we go. To say this, anything over 52 cents is very bullish. What would be the next move? Well, first of all, if true, this whole fractal is ended, finish, and we're already starting in the second fractal. For your levels, A should be around 6, B should be around 84, C breaking all-time highs or not. Also, if we look at the main capitals in this fractal, they are always vertical, always. Yeah? So you always have a V, higher low, run. V, higher low, run. V, bigger, higher low, run. But in the whole IPO, in the whole fractal, we never saw A, we never saw B. It was always just a run. Yeah? So normally, yeah, I would say A, pullback, B, pullback, C. I can't rule out that whenever this thing hit down there is finished, we just go. Yeah? The news is GNS is suing Citadel. So the bullish news would GNS won against Citadel, whatever. Yeah. Same thing, little warning. Same like DTT, same like FFAI. Especially same like FFAI. If this higher low is breaking, means if you touch or break 20 cents, this higher low is dead, and you will knife. To where? No clue. But again, we're already fucking low. The danger of reverse split delisting OTC is massive if we failing this higher low. Just saying. Okay. But right now, it looks perfect. And one last thing before we go to the next one. No options on GNS. Yeah, only shares. And if you look back, if you look at stocks without options, without option chain, they tend to do really stupid things. Yeah. So no financial advice. Let's see. Okay. Next one is BYND. So here also, just a tiny update. For the bigger update, just watch the big roadmap video I link at the end of the video. Today we just look what we have done. And for BYND, there are only two ways. First of all, yesterday we filled the gap. I'm talking about this gap here, 66 cents to 65 cents. And now it gets very important. First of all, we were talking about this gap since February. After we got this run, especially I and a lot of other people said, okay, we don't fill the gap, fine. But we filled the gap. So important thing right now is we are not allowed to touch or break 64.57 cents. I say that absolutely clear. Not allowed to touch or break it. And even if it's only a 1 second wick, it doesn't matter. It's the same like we saw in FFAI. If you touch or break 64 cents, this higher low is dead. You will drop after that massively if we touch or break it. And the only thing is, are we holding October lows then or not? But especially if you do, it will take more time. My April target, if we touch that, it is off the table. And we running into the danger again with OTC reverse split delisting. Just saying. So don't touch it. Don't break it. Next week is earnings, if they're not delaying it again. So if we are bullish in the stupidest way, we're just doing sideways higher lows, and waiting for earnings, or we just finished. We maybe need a little higher low here, but all in all, we are out of landmarks. We are just out of landmarks. Also, what I was showing last time, this whole thing here is taken from here, and if true, then this is showing the whole fractal. I showed that in the last video. If you're interested, just watch the last video. If we zoom in the higher low, and we are holding 64 cents. I'm saying that again. It's a very, very, very crucial level. Then we are right now here. I mean, we had a little gap up today. I was thinking we are already here, but this is no. This is too high for that. This gap here would be over here. So we didn't do that. But I mean, no. Here's also a gap, but we also didn't do that. No. So I still think right now for the bullish tracking, if we're really right, we are right now exactly here. This is your target here. So as long as we're not breaking 64 cents, this is your next move. Especially this is our next move. This is the break of the higher low. And I'm talking about this higher low here. This here would be this here. Price target still 15.25-ish. At least over this peak. At least over $9. But again, do not touch or break 64 cents. Okay, next one is FFAI. So for FFAI, a little update. For the overview, tracking is still working. You have your peak, your lower high, your midpoint, your T, and we are looking for a V. For your next price levels, for the bigger ones, your A is around 153, B at 5,000. Again, without a reverse split, a forward split, you won't see these prices. For normal, if you're not going forward splitting, your next target is 4 for A, 35 for B, and your rejection will be 153. So where is the bottom? Is this the bottom? Did we already do the bottom? Because I'm getting these questions quite every day. You can ask me every day. Yeah, I'm not angry. Yeah, I mean, if I get more comments on my YouTube, it's also helping the channel. So, but even without it, because I don't care about it, you can ask me every day. Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you ask me every day, is this high or low or not? Who cares? Yeah, I'm glad to answer these things. The thing is, last time I got this question, I think it was yesterday, was this high or low? And I just said, yeah, there is no proof for it. That's the main problem. I wouldn't track this micro because it will drive you insane. Yeah. What is clear is that just if you look at this drop here, yeah, this run of this 75%, yeah, whatever now we are squeezing, this was just, that's why I also didn't make a video about this, because this was just T. Yeah. And now we went lower, so technically the T is finished, but it's still looking, it could be that this is the bottom. Yeah. But nobody is able to tell you that. The thing is, wait for confirmation. Yeah. And I'm not talking about wait for the micro higher low here, because this can break again. Yeah. Wait for the big macro higher low. The big macro higher low should reject at $1 and then go down to the 786, and then you're ready to squeeze. Yeah. If you want any confirmation earlier, everything over 45 cents, yeah, so everything over T is bullish. But till then, hands off. Yeah. The main problem with FFAI right now, because I also got the sentence. The owner said they don't want to do reverse splits. First of all, already this wording, yeah, they don't want to. Yeah, if they then do it, they were forced to. Yeah, and second, you don't know these guys. They can lie. They can do whatever they want. Yeah. Main problem with FFA right now is they are sitting at 26 cents. I don't know exactly. There's a rule on nasdaq. I don't know if it's 20 cents or 10 cents. But it's one of these two targets. On nasdaq, if you break under this level, you're instantly delisted. There is no warning. You are not allowed to break these levels to stay on nasdaq. And I tell you, before we breaking that, they will do a reverse split. They want to stay on nasdaq because they want to sell shares. Yeah, on OTC that's shit. Yeah. And again, if they're doing a reverse split, this won't be a 1 to 10 reverse split. This will be a 1 to 100 or 1000 to get as far from this $1 price target. Yeah. Not saying it will happen, but I said back here, if we break this higher low here, we will go to 30, 20, 10 cents and hands off. Yeah. And when we did that, when we knifed down here, I said hands off. Yeah. Don't touch this stock. And now, a few weeks, months later, look where we are. Yeah. It could be a very perfect play. It could be a money maker. Right now, still hands off. Yeah. It's absolutely dangerous, sadly. Okay. Last one, a community wish. NFE, yeah, New Fortress Energy. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't touch it. Yeah. But fractal-wise, it's not looking that bad. Fractal-wise here in January 2021 was your C, lower high, midpoint. And this last peak here in January 2026 was your T. Wherever our bottom is, we will look at that shortly. Your next target for the bounce is $2 for A, $16 for B, and then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not. Also, you could compare this, also this whole thing here, this, yeah, you could compare with this. And in that case, you would be right now in this drop here, looking for the V. Also, we could already get a little hint how the V could look like, because you see, same what we want to see for AMC, knife down, instant V out of it, if true, and then doing higher low. Yeah. For what we are now, how deep this could go, well, the thing is, this is our T, so this is our little C-top. This would be your midpoint. You maybe already did your T, yeah, or you still has to do this, and then your knife. Yeah. I would wait for confirmation here. And confirmation is anything over $2. Yeah. Otherwise, hands off and waiting. Yeah. If we break over $2, we can track this bullish. Till then, hands off. Okay. As always, explanation video here, playlist here. Big update video back there. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, give me an abo. And let's see if the world is ending over the weekend. Be careful with shorts in nasdaq and SPY. It could run against you. Could be wrong. Okay. I wish you a nice weekend.